Welcome to Eye on the Tigers News. I'm Patrick Howell.
And I'm Kennedy Lamb. Thanks for joining us for the news we've been following for you. A white South Carolina police officer was charged with murder Tuesday, hours after law enforcement officials viewed a dramatic video that appears to show him shooting a fleeing black man several times in the back. Saturday's shooting, which began as a traffic stop over a faulty brake light, occurred as Americans grapple with issues of trust between law enforcement and minority communities after a series of deaths of unarmed black men at the hands of police. They include the deaths of Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri, and Eric Gardner in Staten Island, New York. Both sparked protests nationwide. In the Charleston case, authorities said the victim, 50-year-old Walter Lamer Scott, was shot after the officer already hit him with a stun gun. A video of the shooting released to news media outlets shows the officer firing 8 shots at Scott's back as Scott is running away. Scott falls on the 8th shot, fired after a brief pause. The video then shows the officer slowly walking towards him and ordering him to put his hands behind his back. Here's the ABC report.
You can see the officer right there. He draws his gun and begins firing. The man running struck several times. He does not survive. Our team taking that video to the police department today, where they learned authorities were interviewing the officer. And tonight, just a short time ago, the police chief and the mayor revealing that officer will be charged with murder. ABC's Steve Osunsami is in South Carolina, and we warn you, the video is disturbing.
Black male, green shirt, move in.
All units north in emergency status, Jason on foot.
This video obtained by ABC News is chilling, and tonight even city authorities are stunned. Listen for the moment when North Charleston patrolman Michael Slager shoots and kills 50-year-old Walter Scott. In the video, Scott is clearly running away from the officer with his back turned.
Gunshot wound to the left side, to the back. One left side to the buttocks. Unresponsive.
The confrontation started after the officer pulled him over for a broken taillight. Police say the victim fled down the street and into this field behind a pawn shop where Officer Slager fired 8 times. Scott's family tonight heartbroken and pleading that this black life should matter.
He needs to know that that wasn't an animal that he killed. He was my son.
Late today, with this new video in their hands, police responded, charging the officer.
I can tell you that as the result of that video and the bad decision made by our officer, he will be charged with murder.
If convicted, Slager could be sentenced to the death penalty. Police say the arguing began when Slager discovered Scott had an outstanding warrant for child support issues. In the police report and over the radio, Slager says Scott took his taser and that he was worried for his safety.
323, just got shots fired. Subject is down. He grabbed my taser.
But in the video, it's not clear if Scott took the stun gun or was running after being hit by it, with the cord still attached. Officer Slager is later seen handing over his weapon to another officer at the scene, standard procedure after a shooting.
An Afghan soldier opened fire at a group of U.S. troops in the city of Jalalabad in eastern Afghanistan on Wednesday, killing an American soldier and wounding at least 2 others before he was shot dead, a U.S. official said. The incident happened after a meeting between Afghan provincial leaders and a U.S. embassy official in the compound of the provincial governor in Jalalabad. All U.S. Embassy staff were accounted for and returned safely to their mission headquarters, the embassy said.
Kansas became the first state Tuesday to ban a common second trimester abortion procedure that critics describe as dismembering a fetus. Republican Governor Sam Brownback, a strong abortion opponent, signed a bill imposing the ban, and the new law takes effect July 1st. He and the National Right to Life Committee, which drafted the measure, said they hope Kansas's example spurs the other states to enact such laws. Already, the measure has been introduced in Missouri, Oklahoma, and South Carolina. 2 abortion rights groups that operate Kansas clinics with abortion services, Trust Women and Planned Parenthood of Kansas.
Almont High School senior Harold Ecke had a plan he would apply to 13 colleges, including all 8 Ivy League schools, figuring it would help his chances of getting into at least one great school. It worked, and then some. The teenager from Long Island was accepted to all 13 schools, and now faces his next big test, deciding where to go. He found out last week he had been accepted to Princeton University. That made him 8 for 8 in the Ivy League schools. He had already been accepted to Yale University, Brown University, Columbia University, Cornell University, Dartmouth College, Harvard University, and the University of Pennsylvania. His other acceptances came from Johns Hopkins University, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, New York University, Stony Brook University, and Vanderbilt University. Born in Nigeria, Harold was 8 years old when his parents brought the family to the United States.
We've got some warmer weather ahead. When can we expect it? Let's bring in Aislinn with the forecast.
With the warmer comes the wetter, and that will be the rule over the next several days. For our Wednesday, we'll have to deal with cooler than normal temperatures before some warmer air moves in for Thursday, and even warmer air on Friday. Unfortunately, that warmer southerly air will bring with it rain, and at times that rain could be heavy. We could see as much as 3/4 of an inch of rain by the time Friday ends, but we will have more moderate temperatures, actually normal temperatures for this time of the year, in the low to mid-50s. It looks like our weather really starts to improve around midday Saturday, and after some early clouds and sprinkles, we'll see some developing sunshine. A longer range view shows that Sunday will be the pick of the day for the weekend. Higher than normal temps and bright sunshine. Some more rain could move in for the start of next week. With your forecast, I'm Aislinn Foltz.
Another national champion was crowned last night, and they're no stranger to cutting down the nets. With the details, here's Abby Garrett.
Gino Auriemma and his UConn Huskies are a perfect 10. The Hall of Fame coach joined some elite company in UCLA's John Wooden after tying the Wizard of Westward with his 10th NCAA tournament title. Kalina Mosqueda-Lewis and Mariah Jefferson each scored 15 points Tuesday night to lead the Huskies to a 63-53 victory over Notre Dame. It was UConn's third straight title. Auriemma and the Huskies have won all 10 of their trips to the national championship game. North Syracuse native Brianna Stewart added 15 rebounds and 8 points for UConn. The two-team AP Player of the Year has saved her best games for the brightest lights. She earned Most Outstanding Player of the Final Four honors for the third time, making her the first woman ever to do that. Even without an undefeated team, the NCAA title game drew its largest TV audience in 18 years. Duke's 68-63 comeback win over Wisconsin on Monday night on CBS averaged 28.3 million viewers, the most since 1997 when Arizona upset defending champion Kentucky in overtime. CBS and Turner Sports said Tuesday. That's up 33% from the 21.3 million for Connecticut's victory over Kentucky last year. Wisconsin has defeated the previous unbeaten Wildcats in the semifinals, dashing what could have been a record audience for a potential Kentucky-Duke final. The interest for the matchup between the Badgers and Blue Devils still proved high, riding the momentum of a tournament that drew strong ratings all the way through. The games across CBS, TBS, TNT, and truTV averaged 11.3 million viewers, the most since 1993 and up 8% from a year ago. The fate of former New England Patriots player Aaron Hernandez is now in the hands of the jury, which is returning for its full day of deliberations in his murder trial. Hernandez is tried with the June 2013 killing of Odin Lloyd, who was dating his fiance's sister. Jurors deliberated for about 90 minutes Tuesday after hearing closing arguments. They returned Wednesday. Hernandez's lawyer, James Sultan, acknowledged for the first time during closing arguments that Hernandez was there when Lloyd was killed. But he described him as a witness, a 23-year-old kid who did not know what to do. Sultan pinned the killing on two of Hernandez's friends. Prosecutors say Hernandez planned the crime, drove Lloyd to a secluded area, killed him, and then tried to cover it up. With the sports, I'm Abby Garrett.
With a look at what's on the calendar for this week, here's Jacob Frazier.
This week's calendar is highlighted by a presentation from NASA astronaut Story Musgrave. High school students will have an assembly Thursday morning. Musgrave will later speak about the importance of science, technology, and math in another presentation that will begin at 6 o'clock at the Mexico Middle School auditorium. This event will also be available live and then archived on our Ustream channel. Go to the district's website, click on the story, and then click on the link. Sports physicals will be held here at the Mexico High School on May 5th and May 19th. You must see Miss Wallace for paperwork and to sign up. This physical will allow you to be eligible to play sports for the entire 2015-2016 school year. If any student is interested in taking the ASVAB this year, please let Student Services know this week so they can schedule a test time for you. The ASVAB test is administered to potential military recruits to help determine which branch of service and which military jobs they will be best suited for. And finally, All County Chorus comes to the Mexico Middle School auditorium on Friday and Saturday. That's what's on the calendar. I'm Jacob Frazier.
Finally, we welcome Svenja with our history lesson.
This day in history, in 1513, explorer Juan Ponce de Leon claimed Florida for Spain. In 1913, the 17th Amendment to the Constitution providing for the popular election of U.S. senators was ratified. In 1952, President Harry S. Truman seized the steel industry to avert a nationwide strike. In 1974, Hank Aaron of the Atlanta Braves hit his 715th career home run, breaking Babe Ruth's record. In 1990, Ryan White, an AIDS patient whose battle for acceptance gained national attention, died at age 18. In 1994, rock singer-musician Kurt Cobain of Nirvana was found dead in Seattle at age 27 of a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
That's all for us today. For the staff of Eye on the Tigers News, thanks for joining us. I'm Kennedy Lamb.
And I'm Patrick Howell. Have another great day.